there.
All right, everybody, welcome out here to Woodland Park. This is the third match we're broadcasting live today. It's between Bradford Watson and Clint Wright. It's a round of 16 matchup. Winner advances to the local quarterfinals. Looks like Bradford has the tee first. So here he is, hole one. It's a par 4, 589 feet, all the way down the hill to the basket. And he has a great drive there. Turns over a little bit, but he'll have a great look for his approach. Okay, here's Clint Wright on the tee for his first drive of the tournament. Ooh. And what a powerful drive there. He literally has it probably about 75 feet from the basket. So two great drives to open this match between these two competitors. The temperature's holding steady today in the upper 70s. It is Mule Day here in Columbia, so a lot of festivities around the area this morning. We had a spring league that started at 9 o'clock this morning. Lots of traffic coming through the park associated with Mule Day. And people just having a good time. You could hear the parade from the park. But this is a fitting end to a festive day with this final match of the round of 16. And Clint Wright comes to us from one of our neighboring clubs, LCDC in Lawrence County. And we definitely appreciate the support we get from that club here in Muletown, and the support is reciprocal, of course. But this will be a great matchup today between one of Muletown's own and Clint Wright of LCDC. So here's Bradford Watson with his second shot. He's trying to figure out exactly what he wants to throw. And he goes with a big backhand hyzer. And he'll have about a 55-foot look for a 3. So we'll continue down the fairway now to the spot where Clint Wright's drive landed. It's a great shot all the way down to the bottom of this depression here. He might have actually outdriven Swiss from the previous match, where he had two wonderful drives, the second of which on hole 1 helped him to win the sudden death hole and a berth in the quarterfinal. So we're just waiting here for Clint Wright to go and find his disc. And he's actually gonna have a long look at a 2 for a rare eagle on hole 1. So let's see what Clint decides to do here. And he has a nice layup shot. It'll be a drop in for a 3. So here's Bradford Watson to try to push this hole. Good aggressive shot, but it's a little low, a little long. And looks like Bradford Watson has conceded the hole. Clint Wright takes hole 1 with a 3 and he's 1 up. We'll see everyone at hole 2 in just a minute. We're back, hole 2. Clint Wright is 1 up. It's a par 3, 275 feet uphill, out of bounds road to the right. Here's Clint Wright's drive. And he has a great release there, backhand, a little high, hits one of the low-hanging branches, kicks hard left out of the fairway. Okay, so Bradford Watson with an opportunity here on his drive. Hole 2. And he has a backhand release a little bit low, but he'll have a clean look where his second long and short tees are combined. But it does play as the most difficult hole statistically, usually. In tournament play, the tree line to the left is marked OB and the road to the right out of bounds as well. So quite a few competitors end up taking some penalties. Obviously the left side is not OB today, so Clint Wright will not have to take a penalty. But as you can see, he was just asking if that was OB, but it is not today, so that's good for him. So here's Bradford Watson with his second shot. He is out. Just a nice backhand approach, about 10 feet back to the hole. Here's Clint Wright with the second shot. Takes it right at the basket, and he's just underneath. Both competitors have a shot at 3 to push this hole. Let's see if Bradford Watson can close it out. So they both have a really good opportunity. Looks like Clint Wright is out, so he will putt first. And it's in. Great putt by Clint. And Bradford hits the top band, but it bounces in. So hole 2 is a push. Clint Wright still 1 up through 2. We'll see everyone at hole 3 in just a minute. Okay, we're back, hole 3. Clint Wright just had his drive. He crushes it right up, then lands in the center of the fairway. Great shot there by Clint Wright. Here's Bradford Watson. Tee shot, hole 3. And clean backhand release. And just on the left side of the fairway, but he's in great shape. So hole 3 is it's a long par 4. It's 560 feet uphill almost the entire way. It levels out for just a little while, just past the halfway point of the fairway. But it has come to be known as Cardiac Hill in the summertime, since there's very limited shade and tree cover, and it's uphill most of the way. So it can really drain you in the summer if you get held up with a card in front of you. But this time of year, with the temperature in the upper 70s, it's not that much of an issue. And when you throw it as far as Clint Wright just did, it definitely speeds up the play. So Bradford Watson is at his shot. He's in great shape here to try to get in position for his third at the basket. Bradford Watson, second shot, hole 3. Okay, another clean backhand release. Turns over just a little bit, and he's a good 100 feet out from the basket, but he'll have a good approach to hit chains based on what Clint Wright does here with his second. Clint Wright definitely has the power to get it parked or even in the basket for an extremely rare eagle on 3. Swiss and Clint Wright are two of the competitors in this year's match play that actually do have the opportunity to eagle these par 4s, as we saw Swiss do in the last match on hole 10. Here's Clint Wright with his second shot, hole 3. It's a little low, a little left, so he's going to have a tough look for his third shot, which Bradford definitely has more of a window now to just lay the disc up to the basket if he wants to for a tap in 4, or if he chooses, I mean, this is one opportunity to try to get one back on Clint Wright, but I would expect us to see Bradford just laying it up. Trying to survive through these long holes where the power of Clint Wright gives him a big edge. So here is Bradford with his third shot, hole 3. And he had the power on there to get in the basket, and he has it laid up right underneath. So now we have Clint Wright, who's going to attempt with his third shot to get it in and take this hole. And it's hard to see if he even has a clean gap. It looks like between the two trees there is the one route he has. And it appears he is ready to run it. So here's Clint Wright with his third shot to try to take hole 3. And it is just a little bit left of the chains. And you can see Clint Wright is not too pleased with that. He knows that was an opportunity he had to get one back on Bradford Watson. So here's Bradford Watson, fourth shot. and it's in. And Clint Wright is here with his fourth, and it's in. So hole 3 is a push. Clint Wright's still 1 up through 3. We'll be at hole 4 in just a minute. Okay, we're back. Hole 4, 411 feet, par 4. It's a dogleg right at the bend up there. Clint Wright is first to the tee. He's 1 up. And he's going over the trees, but it gets caught up in some vines and drops right into the middle of the woods. Okay, here's Bradford Watson with his drive on hole 4. Window opportunity here for him. And he's going with a forehand shot. It kicks right into the brush on the right side of the fairway. So we'll have to see how deep that went into the brush. But he might still have a good look to get it up to the bend for a clean 3rd shot at the basket. But we'll know here in just a short moment. As we progress through the month of April and into early May, hole 4 is just going to continue to get more and more beautiful. This is one of the more wooded holes on the course, especially as you approach the basket on 4 late in the day. It's just a beautiful scene of greenery. And here's Bradford with his 2nd shot. And it hits on the edge, rolls a little bit, but he's not quite to the bend. But he'll be able to throw out for his 3rd shot. But anyways, as you progress through spring, this hole really turns into one of the more picturesque ones on the entire course. And by the time of the championship match here in our local bracket at Woodland Park, we should get to see a little bit of that in person. Still.
After my 2nd shot, I'm still tucked behind the tree here.
Okay, sounds like Clint Wright has found his disc. He's going to try to throw from in the middle of the woods. And it did not get out. It hit a branch right away. He's in trouble. I think this will be Clint Wright's 3rd shot from somewhere in the woods on hole 4. Bradford Watson goes ahead and pitches out into the middle of the fairway around the dog leg. And Clint Wright is still maneuvering towards his disc. And he's thrown it, and it is across the fairway and onto the left side, just to the left of Bradford Watson's disc. So they're both throwing their fourth shots from this position. Clint Wright emerges from the woods. It's going to be a race to the basket here. Okay, here's Bradford Watson. And he has it cleanly down by the basket, so he's in good shape. Here's Clint Wright with his fourth shot. And they're discussing how many shots they have. They're both on their fourth shot here. So Clint Wright with his fourth shot, hole 4. And Clint Wright says he is finding ticks. Okay, here he is. A nice hyzer approach right at the basket, but he's cleanly there. Looks like they're both going to have an opportunity to tie this hole with a 5 and push it. Great recovery there. Great recovery there by Clint Wright. Keep this hole even. But Bradford Watson's still going to have a tough putt, but definitely makeable. Okay, here's Bradford Watson with his 5th shot. Never mind, looks like Clint Wright is out. Clint Wright with his 5th shot, hole 4. And it's in. Great putt there by Clint Wright. And Bradford Watson in as well. So hole 4 is a push. Clint Wright is 1 up through 4. We'll see everyone at hole 5. Okay, we're back, hole 5. Woodland Park, it's a par 3, 240 feet long. Clint Wright is 1 up and he has the tee. And a great backhand shot there, turning over very slightly, kicks right just at the end. Looks like it'll probably be very close to the basket. Here's Bradford Watson stepping up to the tee for his drive on hole 5. And he goes with a great forehand flick there, but it just kicks left off of a tree. Great release there though. And we'll have to see what he's looking at from the left side of the fairway. I will say the left side of the fairway is much more forgiving than the right side. So plenty of gaps and windows toward the basket from the left side. And we'll have to see if one of those windows is available to Bradford Watson. Do have eyes on Clint Wright's tee shot now. It is long and about 15 feet from the basket, but he has a clean look at a 2. So Bradford really needs to be aggressive with this shot and try to get it in the chains. Okay, here's Bradford Watson with his second shot, hole 5.
20 says he hits it. I got 20 says he hits it.
You heard Clint right there. 20 says he hits it.
Oh yeah, he's got it.
He's on. He's getting down. Low shot here from his knees.
Hit this putt.
Oh, hits a tree. So tough break there for Bradford Watson. But he had an opportunity. And here's his third, hole 5. And in, great 3 save there, which would be a par. But in match play, he has to beat his competitor. So here's Clint Wright with his second shot, hole 5, to win the hole. But he hits the band. Wow. And you can see he is not happy about that. He knows that was a great opportunity. And he taps in for the 3. So hole 5 is a push. And we'll see everyone on hole 6 in just a minute. Clint Wright is 1 up. we're back. Hole 6. It's a par 3, 355 feet downhill. Clint Wright is 1 up and he has the tee. Clint Wright goes with the backhand hyzer, and it's looking very nice. Just a little short though, but he'll have probably a 40-footer for a putt.
That's like
Yeah, the angles are always deceptive on this hole. Sometimes it feels like you've thrown it a lot further than you have. Bradford Watson goes with hyzer, and it stays in the fairway, but he's a good 60 feet out. Short and to the left. So both of these gentlemen will have opportunities to try to lay up and tap in for a 3 to push this hole, it looks like. The option is always there though to run it and go for it. And some of the Mule Day festivities going on in the neighborhood just off of hole 6. Sounds like they have a live band, a big cookout, about 40 people. So that's a fun thing for. Okay, we're back. Hole 7 at Woodland Park. We're all square. Bradford Watson did win hole 6. So Bradford Watson has the tee. And he went with a tomahawk thumber here.
Might have a tree on my right.
Clint Wright with a putter backhand shot has it nicely in there. Should be a clean look at a 2 for Clint Wright. It's been a close match so far. We've seen both of these guys keeping it tight, just like the other matches we had earlier this afternoon. The only match I did not see was Andrew Tester versus Darius Turrentine, but I heard that Andrew Tester won the match by 4, and then obviously the last 2 matches we had on the broadcast went to sudden death playoff holes. So far this one is staying even. Here's Bradford Watson with his second shot, hole 7. And it's in, dead center. Great putt by Bradford. Clint Wright in. So hole 7 is a push. We're all square through 7. We'll see everyone at hole 8 in just a minute. Okay, we're back, hole 8, all square. Bradford Watson has the tee. This is a 240-foot par 3. Road on the right is OB. Okay, Bradford goes with a backhand Heiser's shot, and it kicks pretty hard left, but then it flips up and looked like it was going to roll back down toward the hole, but it doesn't. It settles. So he'll have a really long look for his second shot.
Yeah, tell him I said I try not to.
All right, here's Clint Wright.
Oh yeah.
Threw it in the tree.
Yeah.
Picked up another
Yeah.
piece, threw it in the tree.
Bradford and Clint Wright are just enjoying this fun match and beautiful weather. But here's Clint with his tee shot, hole 8. And he's also going with a backhand Heiser shot. Skips off the road, and he's within 20 feet of the basket. He'll have a clean look at a 2. Try to take this hole on Bradford Watson. Well, so far in the matches that we have been covering, we've seen during this wear, I would say that this is just proving how exciting these match play competitions can be. Anybody can join, anybody has a chance at winning. It's a lot different than stroke play, and a lot of times you'll see a better game than you're used to seeing, and I think we're seeing that today. We've seen that from many competitors. Let's head back to this match. We have Clint Wright with his second shot, hole 8. And he hits dead center chains. So the pressure is on Bradford Watson to hit this downhill putt from 18 feet. Here he is, second shot, hole 8. And it's in. Great 2s from both guys. We're all square through 8. We'll be at hole 9 shortly. He goes with a big backhand Heiser within 3 feet of the basket. Great shot there by Bradford Watson. Probably the shot of the day out of all the matches we've covered. So Clint Wright steps up. A good 50, 60 feet away from the basket and guarded by a multitude of trees. So there might be a lane for him to go at the basket, but he's going to have to regardless since Bradford Watson is parked. And it'll be a tough 2 for Clint to try to hit here. But he has to do it. As we get to the last part of the 9th hole of this match, this is a good opportunity to mention that next week we have the quarterfinals of the U.S. Amateur Match Play Championships at Woodland Park, with competitors all vying for a chance to get to the state bracket and ultimately a chance to get to the national bracket in Emporia, Kansas, and win a full disc golf course plus thousands of dollars worth of prizes. But for now, Clint Wright trying to get his spot to the next round. And he had the distance but it was just a little bit to the right. And Bradford Watson walks up. Marks his disc. And Clint Wright has conceded the hole and given it to Bradford. Bradford Watson takes hole 9. He's 1 up through 9. We'll be at hole 10 in just a minute. Okay, we're back, hole 10, par 4, 502 feet. Bradford Watson's 1 up. He has the tee. Here he is with his tee shot. And he went the shot, but it hit a tree close in. And like you said, it could have been worse. Here's Clint Wright with his tee shot. And he rips it. It gets around the tree, and it's a good way down the fairway. He'll have a great look for his second shot. And you could hear the gallery. We have William Huddleston here with his dog on a leash. Sweet dog. Obviously a fan of this match. Clint showing some love to the pup. Yeah, this match is turning out to be close. I guess we wouldn't expect anything less the way these matches have been going today. And we appreciate everybody for tuning in to follow these. And encourage you, next year when US Amateur Matchplay Championships open up, sign up for the bracket. And there are brackets all over Middle Tennessee. We hope to see more across the state. It'd be great to fill up the state bracket with 16 competitors. But here is Bradford Watson with his second shot, hole 10. And he has a great shot there. Gets a little skip, and he'll actually have a long look at the basket for his third shot. Definitely a valid approach shot opportunity and a tester throw to hit that 3 into the chains. Clint Wright, on the other hand, he's definitely going to be throwing more of an approach here for his second shot, just trying to get it in close to the basket to make it an easy 3. But here's Clint Wright. He's marking his disc, and we'll see what his selection is here. Looks like he's going to go with a backhand hyzer shot. And he does, and it is clean, and he's up within 15 feet of the basket. Great shot there by Clint Wright. So the pressure is on Bradford Watson. He has to run this in order to keep his lead in this match. And he is currently walking to see where Clint Wright's disc is. He just wants to make sure that this really is a shot that he has to run, because the road beyond the basket is out of bounds. And he ran it. It had the distance, but it is OB. And that will pretty much settle this hole. Not official yet, but Clint Wright walks up. He might even be 5 feet out from the basket. It's pretty close, but just routinely throws it into the chains and wins with a 3. So Clint Wright wins hole 10. We are all square through 10. We'll see everyone at hole 11 in just a minute. We're back hole 11. It's a par 3, 275 feet. Clint Wright has the tee, and here's his drive. Great shot. He's going with an Anheuser backhand shot, and it took a bad skip there at the end. He'll probably have close to 30 feet at least uphill back to the basket. Unfortunate bounce. And Bradford Watson goes with the forehand, but it lifts a little bit. It cut early, and it's out to the right of the fairway by the 12 long tee pad. So there is a window there at the basket, but it looks like it's going to be tough for either of these gentlemen to get a 2 on this hole. So we'll have to see what they both decide to do. Yeah, opposite ends of the fairway. Looks like Bradford is out, so he will take the first shot. See if he can get it up close to the basket. He's eyeing out the shot, seeing where Clint Wright is, just to make sure about his strategy. He ran it right at the basket. It went a little low and passed a good 20 feet or so. So he's gonna have a tough look back up for a 3. Looks like Bradford's still out, so that must have been the reason he ran it. He felt that Clint Wright's drive was definitely within his range. Okay, so here's Clint Wright to win hole 11. And he's resetting. Slight distraction from a dog. And center chains, great putt there and drive by Clint Wright. He gets a 2 on 11 and wins the hole. He's 1 up through 11. We'll see everyone on hole 12. hole 12, par 3, 270 feet. Clint Wright is 1 up and he has the tee. And he goes backhand down the right-hand corridor of the fairway. And it might be long in the road. It is tough to see. But Clint Wright looks like maybe he thinks it's safe. And Bradford Watson is taking it down the the left side of the fairway. And we're gonna have to see where Clint Wright's drive ended up. He seems maybe now to think that it went out of bounds. So we'll have to see what happens here. That could be an opportunity for Bradford Watson perhaps. But I will say a lot of times when you go long on hole 12 and you end up out of bounds in the area where Clint Wright was, it's usually a fairly easy putt in for a 3 with the penalty. So if that's the case, then we're probably looking at a push for this hole. But we'll just have to see. Here's Bradford Watson with his second shot, hole 12. And Clint Wright is out of bounds. We now have confirmation. And Bradford has it right under the basket. And Clint Wright will will mark his lie a meter in from where his disc went out of bounds, take 1 penalty stroke, and now he is putting his 3rd shot. And it's a routine putt for him, in for a 3. It's a good par save by Clint Wright. And also for Bradford Watson. 2 3s, hole 12 is a push. Clint Wright's 1 up through 12. We'll be at hole 13 in just a minute. Okay, we're here at hole 13, par 3, 265 feet. Clint Wright has the tee. He is 1 up. And this fairway slants slightly to the right, cuts to the right to the basket and uphill. Here's Clint Wright with his drive. And he has thrown a great shot. It was right at the basket, almost in. You can see his face there. Great shot by Clint Wright. Love a good look at it too. Here's Bradford Watson with his tee shot, hole 13. And he goes with a forehand, but it's high and it drops short. just short of halfway down the fairway. So he'll have a long shot to approach the basket on his second. See the new information board here at Woodland Park, donated by the Muletown Disc Golf Club. Check it out when you're here. The latest announcements will be on there for upcoming leagues and tournaments. Right now we have the Spring League every Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. Also doubles, random draw doubles every Tuesday at 5. And we'll slowly be getting the start time for that later as we get more sunlight in the day. For now, here's Bradford Watson with his second shot, hole 13. He throws a forehand, he gets around the trees, and he'll have a good look at the basket for his third shot. It cutting downhill sharply just beyond the basket within a few feet. So it looks like he's a good 20 feet out. So definitely not an easy putt for Clint Wright. He has an option here to either try to win or lay up. And he is out, so this will be an opportunity for Clint Wright to win hole 13. But he misses, it spits out. So fortunately for Clint Wright, it did not roll down the hill and end up far away. Bradford Watson with his third. But it hits the basket and bounces out. So Bradford Watson with a 4. If Clint Wright makes this, he wins hole 13, and he does. Clint Wright 2 up through 13. We'll be at hole 14 in just a minute. We're back hole 14, long par 4, goes down straight and then cuts hard right up the hill to the basket. Here's Clint Wright. He is 2 up. And he goes with a roller shot. And it stands up, it gets around the tree down the fairway, and he's in great position for his second shot. Great roller there by Clint Wright. You saw the reaction. He is pumped. Or maybe it was a wasp. I don't know.
Now you killed 2 animals today.
Yep, sounds like it was a wasp. Yeah, you saw the reaction there. He got him, he said. Okay, here's Bradford Watson with his tee shot, hole 14. And he's also going with a roller. It's cutting a little farther right, but it looks like he's going to be in great shape there for his second shot. So he's taking the higher route, and Clint Wright's down in the lower portion of the fairway. So we'll have a little bit of split coverage here. Try to capture these guys in both of their lives as well as we can. But it was good to see both of them navigating this tee shot well. Most of the matches so far in this match play, we've seen at least one of the competitors have an unfortunate bounce or a hit on their tee shot on 14. It's not an easy tee shot, but it's definitely one of the more exciting and fun shots on the entire course. All right, so I believe Bradford Watson will be out here. We'll have to see what he chooses to throw. There is a road out of bounds on the right side of this tree line up here. So if he does choose to throw a forehand, he'll have to keep that in mind. But he's played this hole many times and he's definitely aware of that challenge. So here's Bradford Watson with his second shot, hole 14. And looks like he's maybe having a little bit of indecision here. He's not sure about what to throw, so he's switching to a different disc. And he is going forehand. He gets it up, but if it turns over on him, it's going down the hill. And it's quite a ways from the basket. So he's going to have an approach for his third shot. It's going to be tough to run it into the chains from there. Okay, here's another opportunity for Clint Wright. If he can get it within circle one of the basket, I'd say he has a good chance of getting this hole on Bradford Watson, barring a miracle. But here is Clint Wright with his second shot, hole 14. And he takes a nice backhand approach there, and he has it parked. Great shot by Clint Wright. It would appear that the odds are in his favor right now to get a 3 on this hole and take another hole on Bradford Watson, who has played a great match to this point. So Bradford's found his disc. It's down, nestled on the front side of a tree. Be kind of an awkward lie for him. Let's see what he chooses to do. He's still looking. Appears that quite a few of these trees are blocking his path to the basket. But he looks like he's going to try a forehand approach. And he does. It's a great shot. Hits a tree, but he'll have a look for a 4. But if Clint Wright can clean up his third shot here and get it into the chains, that fourth shot will not be needed. So, okay. Sounds like Bradford Watson's going to let Clint Wright go ahead and throw his third. And he buries it into the chains. Great 3 by Clint Wright. He takes hole 14 and is now 3 up. We'll see one at hole 15 in just a minute. 15. It's a par 3, 225 feet. Clint Wright is now 3 up, and here's his tee shot. It's a high shot, turning over. It's wide, right, but it kicks a tree back to the left, but he'll have a long shot, 45 feet uphill back to the basket. So here's Bradford Watson. His tee shot, hole 15. And he goes with a forehand, but it's low, and he is also a long way from the basket, so it's going to be tough for either of these gentlemen to get a 2 on this hole. So hole 15 is always one of the more exciting holes on this course. It can provide some fun putts. As you can see, when you approach the basket from this direction, any disc that hits the basket, flips on its edge, has a high risk of rolling all the way back down into this ditch and quickly turning a birdie attempt into a bogey or worse. But that's usually more of a threat when you're maybe on the upper side of the basket. Here's Clint Wright with his second shot, hole 15. And he hits it. That's a great shot. So here's Bradford Watson. He has to hit this to continue the match. And Bradford runs it, but it is long and not in the chain, so Clint Wright has won the match, 4-3. We'll be right back in just a minute with player interviews. Stay tuned. We're here live with both Bradford Watson and Clint Wright. Guys, great match there. Ended up with Clint Wright winning 4-3. Bradford, you had a great run there for quite a while. How did you like this match?
Felt good. I was head after 9. I'm going to call that a personal victory. This guy, upper rated guy here, gave me a few. He was trying to let me stay even there, I think. I couldn't capitalize at the end, but
That was fun.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Clint Wright, great match there. Way to get on a roll there and really capitalize. How are you feeling coming down the stretch here these last 4 holes?
Almost ace 13, and that kind of helped, but I was 45 past it and ended up getting a par. But
That's a good shot.
Bradford gave me more than I was expecting. No offense,
Oh, yeah.
but
That's fine. No.
he took advantage of every mistake that I made, and made it a really good match. And look forward to getting Swistifer next week, right?
Yeah, I got the
So that'll be fun.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to that match as well. Congrats, Clint Wright, on advancing to the quarterfinals, and we'll see you next week against Swiss.